As someone who's in college, it's kind of hard to not be pressured into doing like what everyone else around you is doing. So like personally, I started like reading my devotional every day so I could feel motivated to keep on staying on top of my schoolwork, and just knowing being able to have faith and trust in God that He's there for me and that He has a plan for me is enough to push me, enough for now to push me to want to do better and to succeed in school.
Like she was saying, as a college student, we're surrounded by a lot of people who, for instance, drink, participate in activities that just aren't condoned by what we're taught in church. So, basically when surrounded by people like that, you kind of try to suggest doing activities that don't involve those kind of things. You try to maybe like refrain from even hanging out with those kind of people. But basically, like being a child of God, it just, changes your interests, and you decide to participate in like different kinds of activities so that you're not pressured into doing those things.
I personally get a quote every day, it's kind of like a daily devotion, but it's just a quote. It's like inspirational, so it reminds me who I am and what I need to be doing daily. And I've changed my friends, so like I have a group of people that I'm with that also participate in the same, like they're also Christians. So like, even though we're still pressured, we still remember who we are, so it just helps. It's difficult, but you have to think of the bigger picture. Like, how I would handle it is like, I've been in situations where like other people are doing something, like, for instance, when everyone was drinking at this one party that I went to, and I was like, okay, I mean, why not? Like, but it's something in the back of your mind clicks. Like, I just remembered my pastor talking about, people who drink, like, it's just not a godly thing to do. And I just have to remind myself who I am, like, daily, so I can refrain from those things.
Yeah, I agree with what she's saying. Like, sometimes, like, especially, like, knowing Pastor T, you kind of feel like a hypocrite if you, like, fall into the temptation of participating in those kind of things, because, like, you can't just do that, like, Saturday night and then come to church the next day acting like everything's all good, So, basically, like, a way to, like, avoid being in situations like that is just, like, letting everyone know, like, when you're introducing yourself to someone, like, one of the main things about you is that I'm a Christian. Like, these are the things I stand for. These are the things I don't stand for, or whatever. So, like, you're just, like, less likely to run into those kinds of situations. So,
agreed. I mean, it also goes hand in hand with how we were raised as Nigerian Americans. Even if we weren't Christian, like, this is still how we would be, because in the back of your mind, not that we're scared that our parents will find out, but like just the way that the values that they instilled in us help us in our day-to-day decisions. So if we're around people that are like that, and also because we are strong individuals mentally and emotionally, and we're comfortable with who we are, we don't hesitate, none of us hesitate to stand up for what we believe in, for what we know is right. And just because someone else is doing it doesn't mean that we have to do it. Like, our mom used to always say, if someone is about to jump into the fire, would you jump into the fire with them? Like, no, like that's just who we are. We're strong individuals, and our father has taught us to be strong, especially females, strong Black females, to be able to stand up for what we believe in and to never fall by the wayside, as Pastor Kez would say.
And also be children of the light.
Remember the children of who you are.
Yeah.
Favorite quote.
Yes, honestly, I do. I've never been like the most popular person, so I've always had like a small clique of friends around me, like maybe like 4 or 5 people. And I've had a friend who was just going through a rough time, like, and she has a boyfriend. So like, just kind of going through a rough time with that. And like, I'm not really big on the whole boyfriend thing either, but like, I just try and help her here and there. And then eventually she came to Emerge service with us, and like, she told me that she enjoyed herself, that it was fun, that even though it was like compact and small, it was still like a way for her to get away from her own life in a way. And like, I feel like by being a light into the world, we're people's escape from like their life if they need it. Like, the world, like, life is hard. So sometimes you just need something else to rest on, and God just happens to be that. But a lot of people don't know that until they actually experience him. So by by like just being who we are and by allowing our actions to bring light into the world, people will see us and know that there's something different about us, and that's what draws them towards us.
I actually have a kind of different scenario. I have, well, we know that today a very controversial issue that's going on is like homosexuality. And I have a pretty close friend who is homosexual. And we kind of don't talk about that his sexual orientation as much. But when he did bring it up, then I kind of found that as an opportunity to share with him like my religious perspective on it. Like not condemning him or anything, but just letting him know that he shouldn't feel like he can't come to church because he has a certain sexual orientation. Like I just wanted him to know that, coming to church is like a form of escape from the judgment, a form of escape from any like negative feelings he thinks that people are like projecting towards him because of who he is. Like we all sin, in like different ways, but I kind of use being a child of the light as an opportunity to let him know that he can come to church as a place to find an escape from judgment, as a place to find an escape from, any negative feelings that he thinks that people are like projecting towards him, basically. So that's my situation.
Well, I have a situation. Mine is different from yours. My friend is Muslim, and we don't really talk about religion a lot because, we don't want that to be like an argument point for us. But I invited her to church once, and she used to always say no. But one time she just said, okay, I'll just come. And it's not that I changed her belief, but she was like, wow, I just felt something in that place. Like it was a good feeling. And because she always asked me, why was I always smiling? And I'm like, why not? Like God is good. Why else wouldn't I smile? And she would just be like, yeah, God's good, but I'm not always smiling. I was like, just come to church one day. Like, you'll leave smiling. And that's what happened. Like, she left smiling. She was happy. And I just felt like I impacted her positively. Like, even though I didn't change her religion, I just, shared what I believed.
My name is Tamilala, and I am a child of the light.
My name is Brittany, and I'm a child of the light.
My name is Tenyola, and I am a child of the light.